Guys, it's time for the first coat of primer on Mr. Lumpy here. I had to show off before I cover this. I wanted you to see, God, I hope this shows, at how nicely that top grafted onto this casting. Got the windows where they're pretty close to perfect. And now I'm going to cover up all the time I put into it. That self-etching primer, not the greatest guide coat, but it sure filled. It's a lot of work getting most of that back off, but it stuck where it had to. This casting came out of the mold just a few seconds too soon. You can tell by all the loss of detail, but here's the best. See this point right here? It's one of the strongest parts of the car. And if you look, it sagged. You can see how that hood sagged. Now in this case, because it wasn't the best flip front end candidate, and because I'm easily bored, looks like it's going to end up an actual car. Now, to point out how ridiculous this whole project is, when I first got the Novas, I thought I could do something different by making a sedan delivery. And I thought it'd make a really cool, somewhat noticeable example. Then I found this. Measurements, but this is clearly the smart way to go. I think I paid $7.50 for this, which was the cheapest one on eBay at the time, but when you compare the time it takes to make your own to $7.50, it's kind of hard to justify it. I don't need to justify what I'm doing, but the smart thing would be to drop this project and let this take over. But we're not going to do the smart thing. I'm going to do them both. This is going to be for a very specific project. And in honor of our favorite subscriber, I'm going to do something I've never seen him do. Oh yeah. Now you can see the tempo work is pretty good for one of these. It almost looks like the casting, because this one isn't just buried in paint. It almost looks like the casting is perfect for that project. Let's check one more thing out. Okay. Now, assuming that this is an art car. Assuming that this is, and it looks pretty close to a stock height top. It's at like 207, I think. Yeah, 207. So it's a stock height. But it'd be super easy to chop this thing down. It's solid as a rock. This one comes out, I think, 160. Good. At 175, roughly. So, this will be popping up later. I plan to have a whole bunch of fun and get a whole lot of practice on this one before I even mess with this. This is going in with the Belvedere's as part of the "you're not smart enough to touch us yet" file. And it looks good over there. That's about it. Just had to show this off before I hide it. This is the first completed chop I've ever done on die cast. And you can see the seams, but they're full. That's the super glue. Can't feel them, but I can still see them clearly. A lot of this is filled with that primer and a little bit of the glue. It didn't take that much putty to finish those off. The primer will tell us how close I've gotten. I'm really pleased with the back window too. I got the shape back. I got, again, you can't, it looks lumpy because it's some of the filler is clear, but I'm happy. I'm sure the primer will disabuse me of the notion that I've gotten somewhere, but I'll be back when we find out. Thanks for watching, guys.